Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Lucid and I am joined by Maryland.
Howdy guys.
So, yeah, guys and girls, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, men, women, children of all ages, and everything in between. Yeah, we're back. So, it's turn 69, and I officially pronounced the last episode that we are in the late game. It is official. It is official.
How do you define late game? What's your definition?
My definition of the late game is usually when nines start coming online for multiple players.
Me too. And the second part of that is that means people can start rolling out big piles of magi because they just don't need them anymore.
Yeah. But it's kind of just a vague thing. I mean, you start having to worry about different things in the late game, like flames from the sky.
That's right.
A bunch of other stuff. Armies of gold. And, armies with 40 magi. So
rather than 10 or communions with 10 slaves, 12 slaves or something, and then 30 other astral crap.
So we have what appears to be a short novel from Pangaea. And I think we're going to go through a period. My guess is it's going to be at least like 3 or 4, maybe 5 more turns that are going to be kind of chill. I just think, given that we're entering the late game and there's a bunch of big bad stuff that can happen, and nobody wants to be the next coalition target, I kind of think there's not going to be a ton of stuff happening, which is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
You want to do these? I can do them too.
It never even occurred to me that Ind would attack Vanheim, but I understand why he did it now that I know the diplomacy behind it. Essentially, Kris first tried to threaten that throne off of Ind, then ended his NEP with Ind, then, when actually taking the throne, threatened Ind again by saying that the army that he was taking that throne with could wipe out whatever Ind sent at it. So in other words, Ind was provoked into doing that. It's fine for me, but still unexpected. Kris also claimed that his trapezing draught was a mistake, but even though I lost a few dryads to it and the chance of seducing some of Ind's commander, the gems and maenads saved by Vanheim killing that army is well worth it. We're still at peace as far as I'm concerned, and I don't plan
that cloud trapezing Vanadrop was a mistake. My ass. My ass. That was a greedy elf if I've ever seen one.
Exactly. Let's try to grab one more province off Ind.
Yeah.
Another player while wasting units to failing to storm Ind. Along those lines, I'm just investigating what's in the Nether this turn while bringing extra gems over. I'm sending in a bunch of dryads, possibly with mass protection, depending on what Ind breaks siege with, which will trigger gem spending and can even win if Ind broke with everything he had. I won't mind too much if they all die to a blob of sacreds inside, since that just means that I know what I'll be up against while having the gems to actually take the fight property. Okay, so he's going to storm. And we got one more. I believe that Uruk has the highest population out of the 4 capitals that I control. I will control, so I'm going to put up a blood vortex there. Unfortunately, the last dregs of conquered luck are all going to be gone, so I'm probably not going to get a bunch of free demons from it. Okay.
Huh, I didn't remember that blood vortex gave you demons. I don't remember that detail.
I don't either. I don't cast it very often. I'm always torn. The payoff is amazing.
I've cast it on a nation with luck scales. I don't think I got demons out of it, but who am I to say?
Yeah.
I know you can get demons from Looming Hell, I think. But anyway.
Really?
I think you can. Maybe I'm just misremembering. I know in DE you can. I think that might be the only time I've cast it, but...
Oh, well, maybe that's it. Should we read Vanheim, since they're kind of related and they're talking about each other? So Ind did attack me on that throne. Good thing I was well prepared for it. I wondered if he thought he could win. It was surely a great waste of an army. I would rather have seen fighting Pan, but it seems like Ind was pretty much dead anyway. So maybe he did not care and just would not let me get that throne for free.
I think that's pretty much right.
My Cloud Trapeze attack on 138 next to the throne was a misclick. That Vanadrot was supposed to go to the throne battle and cast Mass Flight to prevent Earth Melt. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, that's fair.
and Arrowfend. It did have air gems. And why would you send air gems if
Yep.
you're just raiding? And a Moonblade didn't make any sense if he was planning to, because his gear didn't make any sense for somebody trying to.
Okay, that's fair. I take it back.
Funny thing was that the Vanadrot took out 3 Dryad assassins and then lost to that Centaur thug that he really should have been able to beat. He, of course, also prevented those.
Maybe he didn't just lose to the Centaur thug; he got wrecked by the Centaur thug. I mean, he got cut in half.
But that guy had the Centaur. That was the one with the flesh eater, right? I mean, if that hits, it trashes anyways. He, of course, also prevented those Dryads from going for the Inn's commanders. As with him on the fort, the Dryads can only go for him, so that was quite stupid. But who cares? I won anyway with relatively few losses overall. Pan just showed me the magic grass. I had no idea that I was the gem leader by such a large margin, and neither that I was doing so well with research as well. It is quite possible that Pelagia is trying to form a coalition against me now, but without Pan. I don't think they will have any success, and I doubt that Pan will help them, as he would be the obvious next target once I'm dead. Well, I kind of agree with them in that why would Ashdod want to fight Vanheim right now? And why would Ulm want to fight Vanheim? And who else could he ask?
Well, I think you could make a case that maybe Ashdod or Ulm would want to fight Vanheim. I think those are reasonable things. Like, they need to fight somebody, and they probably don't want to fight each other, because I don't even think they have much of a border. But
I mean, right now.
But I think Pangaea does not want to. Like, if you compare how... if you forget about like the strategy and tactics, really, just at an emotional level, how did war between Pangaea and Vanheim feel for them compared to how did everything that happened in the 10 turns after they made peace feel for them?
Yeah, it reminded me of Stalingrad. Just a complete attrition nightmare on both sides. That's what it reminded me of. The Pan-Van war was just this. Beat each other up crazily.
And then the second it ends, it's like, let's rob a low security bank with a small militia.
Yeah.
Like, which would you rather do?
But if I was either Ulm or Ashdod, I might be willing to discuss a coalition against Vanheim. But I would be very hesitant to agree to anything until Xibalba is completely dead and Ctis is completely dead.
Well, I also think Pelagia has probably lost a ton of credibility for organizing coalitions. Because so far, if you get invited into a Pelagia coalition, you need to do all the heavy lifting, and they're going to sit there and do what's best for them. You know?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that, but that's an excellent point, because Pelagia has gotten more or less freebies every time it's allied with somebody.
Pelagia hasn't really done much of anything hard, and if they did something hard, it was against a crippled, lame player like Jotunheim. You know, not that Jotunheim was a bad player, his just position had been successfully eroded by several players attacking into them, and he had fought them off, and then Pelagia came in to, finish a wounded animal.
Yeah, and vultured everything.
So Pelagia so far has never been like, hey, there's this player that's running away with the game, we have to do something to stop them, and then done anything meaningful.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think his credibility, unless it's a player who hasn't been in the game all this time, and the only one of those is Ind, anybody else is going to look at offers from Pelagia as, you better pay me well. Like, send me a whole whack of gems and some gold, and I'll help you out.
However, Pelagia, people were saying that Vanheim is the gem income leader. And we know, you and I, Marilyn, know, that is probably not true.
Oh, no, it is not true. But,
where can we see...
But it's...
wait, Pelagia, what is this right here?
Slave income doesn't show up there either.
Earthblood
So there is a big chunk of slave income not showing up there.
Yeah, that's true.
You look at the course, the gem graph. Another 100 slaves. So I think each of these lines is probably 10.
Yeah, here's the Ulm casting Earthblood Deepwell. That's what I was going to look. So...
Oh, that's what you're looking for, yeah.
I think each line is actually now about, I think it's like 8.
Yeah, that's a ballpark number. I mean, the top of the graph is, it's not a fixed scale.
5, 6. So 6 times 8 is 48, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Actually, I think Pelagia is about tied, because I think he probably has 2 wish casters. He may have 3, but I don't think he has 4.
So you're counting that as about 25 gems each.
Yeah, but maybe that's not right, because didn't we say it was 13 gems apiece?
We did.
But is it 13 gems or pearls? I think it's 13... I think it's 13 gems, not 13 pearls effective income.
I think so.
So, okay, he's actually, Vanheim probably still is the gym leader by a bit. I think he, especially when you consider he probably has one of the best blood economies too.
Yeah, add in his 100 slaves and use a SATA 2.5 to 1 conversion. That's say roughly 30 more gems not showing on the graph.
I think Pelagia's gym income is like right here. When you factor in 2 wish casters. If he has 3, Pelagia would be a bit above.
Pangaea could have 100 slave income as well. So he might be actually up there again. So I think the top 3 players all have very substantial gem incomes. And then is that Ashdod has a very good gem income. All things considered.
He does. Ashdod and Ulm. I mean, these guys are tightly clustered for gem income. Except Pelagia is really up here in the Vanheim group, not in their group.
Well, and the only 2 with, because I don't think Ashdod has much of a blood economy. He's got a small one. But Pan and Vanheim, we know, have pretty good blood economies.
Now, one of the exceptions to, comparing these gem income graphs is that because Pelagia's comes from Wish, he gets to take his gem type. Basically, his gems are interchangeable. Because he can choose what he alchemizes back into pearls to cast Wish again, and therefore, have whatever gem type he wants. So
that is a significant factor in that all of his gems are the most useful.
Exactly. That's very well said. So everybody else is saying like, okay, well, for me, death gems may be worth 1.2 fire gems, which may be worth 1.1 nature gems or something, whatever it is. They have to spend all of them. Pelagia converts all of them into exactly what he wants most.
Yeah, so I'd give him a 30% boost on this graph for that one reason. That would be by ballparky kind of bit of math there. I'd call that almost worth 30%, that you only have the gems you need. You don't have gems that you've got to either trade away or muck about
Now,
with.
One caveat to that, though, is I think I know what the most valuable gem type is for Pelagia. And I'm pretty sure it's pearls. And I'm pretty sure he's saving for Nexus, which...
Yes.
This is like pre-Nexus Pelagia. That's kind of tied in income. Once he casts Nexus, things are going to change. So...
Well, I'm looking forward. I guess that's going to be one of the big changes to all the diplomacy is when we see that go up, there's going to be a shakedown. And then the other thing we've mentioned... We're kind of thinking there's going to be an astral corruption.
I bet you I bet you the Blood Nations already have decent banks of at least a few hundred blood slaves, which they're getting ready. I mean, I bet you Nexus goes up and within 4 turns, there will be a corruption cast.
And this is a worthwhile discussion. Who can work under Nexus most effectively? High astral nations, pretty good.
What do you mean? You mean under corruption?
Sorry, under corruption, not under Nexus. Blood Nation's not bad. As you demonstrated to me, and I had not realized, if you can summon golems, that's a pretty decent way to deal with it. There's some other mindless options. So Anne can probably handle corruption quite well. Vanheim should be able to work under corruption quite well. Ulm, I would think, would be very hard-pressed to deal with corruption.
I mean, corruption is worse for Ulm, for sure, because they basically can't use their smiths with hammers anymore. They'll get picked off by horrors. And if he's been doing what Ulm almost always is going to do, which is do lightless lanterns, he's going to just have a huge attrition of mages from all the horror marks he's gotten from those lanterns when this thing first starts. I mean,
Yeah.
Astral Corruption is going to devastate Ulm.
What about Ashdod? Do you think Ashdod has Astral Blood Magi?
Oh, he's got these garnets,
I think Ashdod
so that's fine.
I think he could work halfway reasonably under Astral Corruption.
I mean, he honestly has enough. If he's been making for the past 30 turns, if he's been making garnets, that's potentially 30 blood magi. That could easily put him at 100 blood slaves a turn, which is what Vanheim's getting. So he could easily be a major blood power now.
Yeah, I think. Okay, it's going to be very interesting to see if Astral Corruption goes up. I just wanted to sort of do that little bit of analysis. Yeah. So I think the one most hurt by Astral Corruption would be Ulm.
Yeah.
But the other 4 leading nations should be able to work with it.
I mean, it's going to be a big zinger for Pelagia, because it's going to make it very hard with Nexus for them to spend their pearls that they're getting.
Yes. And I mean, there's the one big change. It used to be I didn't worry too much about Astral Corruption when I had Astral 2 Magi, because returning was reliable. Mm-hmm. Returning's not reliable anymore. You lose a lot of Magi to the Void. Plus, you also have the problem that you can't script when you're the defender in an assassination, so you don't necessarily get the returning going off.
Yeah, I mean, I think returning in Astral Corruption is really only useful for like mega cat, like for big beefy dudes, because there's a lot of HARs that will one hit kill you, and your returning isn't going to matter. Yeah. If you're anywhere close to a human size mage, like even 20 HP, there's a lot of HARs that'll one hit kill you through that.
Well, there's so much more diversity in horrors now, like those crazy gore tides, or one of the ones. What are the ones that look like kind of a cat?
Oh, the float mall HARs, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those things are just revolting to try to deal with. And they're a bottom.
Or the brass claw ones are the
brass claw.
Those will mess you up. If you don't have shock resistance, and they have a million attacks, it's crazy. The belly maul HARs. The HARs are so cool in this game. Yeah.
They have gotten a lot more interesting than they used to be. When I talk about Dominions 3 or Dominions 4. Boy, there's a funny, just a slight aside. It'd be fun. You and I should do a little thing where I load up my Dominions 3 and we look over what it was like.
Yeah, that'll be fun, especially if you have like some old turns to look at. Well, it'll be fun.
Oh, I looked it up. I have about 8,000 archived turn files. Yeah, they're all sitting on my Gmail.
I'm game for
back from Lamas. That'd be a fun little aside, because I had lost my CD for Dominions 3 and my original manual, but somebody took pity on me and bought me a dirt cheap copy. So I actually have 3, 4, and 5 loaded. And I've been thinking of doing this retrospective of the improvement, because people go, the UI of 5 isn't that great. Well, oh my God, you should see where we were.
I mean, when people are like, do you think it's worth it to buy 5 if you already have 4? I'm like, it depends. If you play the game, then yeah. If you're like if you're a very casual single player, then like maybe not.
Well, hit your question mark key here. Like just quickly. Okay, in Dominions 3, we had the top 5 lines.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more.
So, anyway, that's an aside. So,
it is.
Astral Corruption we've talked about. Now, what else do we need to do? We've read the Vanheim message, right? Yeah. Let's go look at Vanheim.
Well, we talked about last turn we would discuss the throne potential for Pangaea, because we did it for Vanheim last turn.
So this turn, Vanheim takes this throne with no further resistance from End, because I think none was possible. And then if we look at Pangaea, there's a battle on top of this where he moves a big stack, but there's nothing in here to defend this. This is essentially an undefendable thing. Yeah. This fort's just put under siege. There's nothing to defend it either. But there's a Well of Pestilence here, so he'll probably try to take this with just Maenads. But, well, I guess he has recuperation too, so he wouldn't even really care.
And we're pretty confident that one's empty. And we're pretty confident... Oh.
We have the penis broadcasting tower here.
We were waiting for that. On turn 69, no
turn
less.
69. Okay.
And we won't go any farther with that.
Yeah.
We'll keep our PG rating.
PG rating. PNS broadcasting tower. So, yeah, the Anuki of growth and rebirth. Vanheim and okay, so these are just scouts getting patrolled out. And rating here. This looks like more scouts.
Oh, more scouts.
Who loses? I wonder how this happens. How do you lose a cannibal chief here? You think it was the lone arrow? Just the.
I'm just wondering if maybe an aura.
Wait, did it happen already? Did I miss it?
It's dead.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Go back to your F1 there.
Cannibal chief, okay. Or the cannibal shaman.
Animate.
Oh, here it is.
Oh,
it's a
in
heat
the back,
aura.
on fire.
How did he get caught on fire? Somebody here has a heat aura. Oh, it's devils. Almost certain. He had devils, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think so. Oh, there they are. Yeah. Okay.
Classic Burnination.
Yeah. Whoops. Boy, I've had a lot of experiences with forgetting to have Magi too close to heat auras.
I think everybody that's played Dominions over 200 hours in multiplayer has probably burninated themselves somehow.
Yeah. Well, the worst is MA Agartha with Magma Children. And trying to keep your Earth Raiders alive. What a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to this. I want to finish the Ohm thing. But, yeah, I mean, he storms this thing. This was not the Menaid one. Which was the Menaid one he was talking about storming? This one,
right there.
Okay.
The Nether. He said he was going to do a bit of a probe on the Nether. So what's inside? Oh, that's a half.
This is most of the sacreds in the whole game for him. But no mages.
Yeah. No mages.
Man.
Oh, my gosh. Not even one?
I think one.
One.
Feels pretty bad, man. Okay, those are all going to be dead next turn.
That fight is over. Yeah. So he's down to 2 forts defended. Yeah. And that's it.
Okay. Yep.
I think it's over.
It's over. I'll try not to obsess too much about it. Okay, so let's go to Ctis and Ohm. So what we had said last episode was that because this Ctis god was out of position now, it was going to be free forts for Ohm.
And are they free? Not quite. Oh, some Soul Vortex. Are those white mages back there or just Sorrow-mancers?
Those are, I think they're white mages. But he's got Ravenous. Yeah. He's got Ravenous Swarm up. And they're both undead. So once they fatigue out this Ravenous Swarm, it's going to yoink them. Ravenous Swarm here, a pretty good call.
Yeah, that's a really good call. Yeah, boom. There it goes. That white mage died.
Yeah, you're right.
No, he got him. He got him with the Ravenous Swarm.
Yeah. Towards the end of the battle, sometimes you'll get friendly fire. Like you can see this Ravenous Swarm fucking them up right here.
Right.
Once all the undead stuff is gone.
But it'll eat it. A 200 hit point target.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've done that.
Much less a 20 hit point white mage.
So he had a bit of attrition, which almost certainly was friendly fire here, I think.
It paid off.
Yeah, it paid off. He's got the fort now.
Okay, you got that one?
This fort, we were saying he could also potentially storm this one, but this one he probes.
He just probed it, and it's empty.
That's too bad, because we were thinking... Wait, what the hell?
Pangaea? Oh, he patrolled out a horde.
These aren't stealthy. This must be an event, right?
Really?
Yeah. Realizing the power and the beauty of ever-growing nature, the entire female population of this province has gone into a frenzy of Pangaea worship.
Oh
Ctis
man,
can't catch a break.
what a mess! What a mess! Did that burn his gems?
Yeah,
Did he
let's see what
gems
it
on the
did.
meter? You were talking about, was he going to have a chance to have gems?
He's got 2 death gems.
He brought some gems.
It'd be funny if he wins of death his own army. It doesn't look like he did. Oh, but the gnome ran.
Oops.
Oh, doesn't make it off. That's actually important because I don't think there's anywhere for that. Oh no, he could have run here.
Yeah, but where's the neater? Is it still stuck there?
Yeah, it's still here.
It's still
I don't know why. I think you would want to move it to a lab, right?
But the event might have interrupted its move. I can't remember if
No,
works.
the event will be after movement. It's like the last thing in a turn.
Oh, so he didn't move it.
it.
You're right. Events are later.
Is this
It's
another one? And this one's successful. Pangaea is just going hog wild with their Illwinter. This is Illwinter intervening in the game. They want Sai to win.
Yeah. I wonder what determines if this fires off. Is it based on should turn on events?
Yeah,
Can pop it up.
Realizing the power of the beautiful and ever-growing nature.
I'm just going to grab a quick snip. Okay, I've got
Let's
it.
see if there's any conditions for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Is this because Pangaea has a lot of candles on the map? Because these are pretty far from Pangaea's lands.
Yeah, I know. Because I've had the big 70-player game. Pangaea was having this happen all the time to them, and a lot of those would be going through my lands and stuff. And I'm like, God damn it!
So it's just a 5% event. Requirements: it must be a forest. Minimum turn. Triggering events. Oh, he had to have had the fertility festivals occur beforehand.
In that particular province. Yeah, Great Fertility Festival right here. And then he's had 2 of these.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh.
Okay. So that's the critical triggering. There's a second one that's a little higher rarity that does not require triggering events.
Yeah,
but it's an uncommon bad.
Okay. This one's had a fertility. What triggers the fertility festival? Is it like the throne of Gaia being claimed or something?
Fertility festival must be a forest.
Okay.
That's it.
Huh.
Any forest can have a fertility festival. And then the Great Fertility Festival.
I wonder how many of these forests have had it.
From grow scales. Some of them take grow scales. There's a whole bunch of them here. There's about 8 different fertility festivals that could trigger this dryad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's a fairly involved bit of events, but I think you could safely sum it up as just bad luck.
And it's only in forest, so. And you have some indication it might happen because you will have seen this fertility festival probably before.
Once you've seen that,
that's a risk.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, so things look like they're going pretty swimmingly for Ulm. That's
Yeah, no, this is they grabbed another fort with no cost.
The god's still out of position to take this, so he's going to be able to storm this, and it's.
Well, and is the cap cracked yet?
The cap? No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, well, that's a fairly small army.
Yeah. So that's Ulm and Ctis. We've covered Pangaea and End.
Oh, hang on. Before we finish up on Ctis, could we have a quick look at army graph?
Yeah, I mean, Ctis is just continuing the...
Oh, yeah, there's almost nothing. You add in the Neater and a handful of Magi.
That's it. That's all that's left.
Not even any decent number of just long.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting up as much of a resistance as you could expect for somebody with so little left, so...
And actually, it looks like almost the entire remaining Ctis army are these serpents on that coastal fort.
That's probably true.
Because they're size 20 of them. Serpents are size 3 or 4.
I'm a little surprised Pelagia is not trying to take this. You would think they would be. I'd be in vulture mode if I were Pelagia. Like coastal fort, it's nice income. Why not take it?
All right.
Okay, so we've done End and Pangaea. We've done Ulm and Ctis. Pelagia, I don't think there's much movement on Pelagia.
No.
We don't see Kuthgul or anything here in particular, but it's hard to know. I'm not going to go to see much.
He's got to be around somewhere, but maybe a pearl. I don't know all the details of how these scout reports work. They seem to float a little bit, alternating sometimes.
Yeah.
Do we see a Triton King? I haven't seen the crack in ages. I'm sure it's not dead, because calling it would have been pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I've seen the Kraken show up on a scout report in quite a few turns. Well, this one's similar. The Tree Lord, the Troll King, and the Fairy Queen.
Yeah, it's possible he's trying to obscure that information somehow too. But
possible.
Yeah, and Pelagia's got a fort here. Is this a... this is a forest of kelp and coral. So he grew a fort here. He's got all these little lakes forted. And as he gets ready, he can get mages in it, and then maybe have the mages summoning things, and he can start using these potentially to raid outwards and to just extract resources from undefended coastal lands. But yeah, all these little ponds are getting forted, and there's only a few ponds left, and they're Ulms, which I expect are going to become Pelagia's pretty soon.
And Vanheim has
one.
Well,
Vanheim was smart enough to fort his.
But he already told us that he was doing a bishop fish.
Yeah, so he needs that for the bishop fish, but it's also nice because this is not gonna, unless there's like an astral travel move or something. This fort is not going to just be something that turns into, a Pelagian fort that he can raid out from in the middle of Vanheim.
So I don't have anything more to say about Pelagia, but I was thinking I wouldn't mind looking at Ashdod.
Oh yeah, let's take a look.
Because I saw a fort.
So we got a battle here in this fort. It's got a Hashmel.
Anything.
Oh
yeah. Last turn, he made an attempt, and these guys held out. But there were 6 of them, 2 died.
Yeah. That might have actually been a different fort, too. But he's put a death gem on everybody here, so they could get Horde of Skeletons off round 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm expecting they're going to do Stygian Skin. Yep. And now they're on Advance and Cast.
Okay.
Oh my god, but that Hashmel. Oh my gosh. Killing them by the dozen.
Who's Bane? Yeah, there's a Bane.
Oh yeah, flying Bane. Yeah. No, there will be no such budget defense here.
No, well done, Ashdod.
And gosh, this...
So it's about down to a single fort. What a nice...
I mean, this is 1, 6, 7, 9. It's a 9-gem province. Whew. I mean, having this is like having Mother Oak.
Well, look at his gem graph if we want to see. Should have just gone way.
We were looking at that earlier, right? Oh yeah, we got a nice little bump. Yeah, this bump is what put him up here with the big boys.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
Pretty nice.
Pretty sweet.
Here, there was another storming effort.
Oh, this one failed.
And he's got another Chad Banelord. This one does not have flying. And these guys, the slingers, are trying to hit these muke. They're not going for the archers.
He moved them up. They're far
right.
forward.
And these are not Anakites. These are Bashanites.
Okay, so just plain Jane Giants.
But it was like you were saying, he just needs something to clog up the gates. The problem is that something is getting frozen hearted.
It is. Well, the Banelord should be invulnerable to frozen heart because the AI. Well, your mod might change that.
He's immune. I mean, he's 25 cold resistance, but he's not invulnerable to dust. Yep, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right.
And the slingers were like, "Yeah, fuck that. We're out of here."
Yep, we're out of here. Okay. Right. Two budget.
Here we go. All right, Xibalba. Down to his last fort, but still doing silly scripting things and managing to hold this when he has no right to.
There's some tiny little fight just south of it.
Yeah. Oh, this is the Ivy King
this?
thing. Maybe watch it, I guess.
It's
not too much to watch.
Oh, yeah. No. He'll take this easy enough. That's right. Some skeletons. I mean, the stats on Vine Ogres are pretty terrible.
They look big and scary. They're not.
Big. Well, I've used them for Foul Vapors plays because they're immune and they give you big sacks of hit points that take time to kill. Well, they take time for human troops to kill. They don't really take any time for
That's right. Anakites take care of them mighty quick. So do Sayir. So, this is good for Ashdod. He's got, one fort left. He's been failing to take it. I mean, if you look at this, who really... Okay, you lost the Bane Lord with 10 gems of gear. It's not great, but it's not a big deal.
I just see just above it that the mercenary ghosts are still floating around there. I wonder where he's going. Like, what Pelagia's doing with those mercenary ghosts. Because weren't they there last turn?
I'm not sure. Maybe he's just researching or something. But...
Well, Inkpot End is a disease site, isn't it?
Yeah. But they're undead, so...
Well, that might be... That's what I mean. That might be why they're still sitting there.
I can't tell if he's cooking up anything. He doesn't... I think he's chilling. It doesn't look like he's cooking up anything. Pelagia.
I'm not... The one thing I thought he would do is take that remaining throne, but he's leaving it alone. The one by his pawn.
Yeah, you would think it would be pretty easy to take now. You just do ground army or something and...
Well, he probed it
Fog Warriors, and I think you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't taken it.
Yeah, it's... Now, he may not want to claim it, because I guess he probably knows it's the Death Throne. And...
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you could site search it and stuff, and maybe there's good stuff there.
But you could lock it down. You could lock it down with a fort. You could wizard tower it, lock it down so it can't be sniped easily. Because right now it's bait for anybody. Yeah, especially with like Pangaea and Vanheim, it'd be kind of nice to just lock it down so that these stealthy nations can't do some really, Jedi level throne rush. So that's a humongous stack for Vanheim, right smack dab in the middle. Thing? Or this one? No, so look at the size of that. Corpse Constructs, Soulless. Yeah, he's probably bloodhunting here. Yeah. The library gives him sages, right? That's the sage recruitment. Okay. All right. So I think we've talked about everything now, haven't we? I think we've covered everything. It was a fairly quiet turn. We've covered, but we did say... Oh, yeah. So I wanted to comment. I don't think Pangaea has a throne rush for one very simple reason. He doesn't have enough claimers. Yeah. So it wouldn't matter if there's thrones available. He doesn't have a single pawn. Right. And without a pawn, he doesn't have bishop fish. And unless he's been lucky, he's out of his only 3 heroes. So I don't think Pangaea is not in any position for a throne push right now. All right. Well, let's analyze it and see what happens if he gets some of them. If he gets some throne claimers, he's got 3 right now, which is 1 less than Vanheim. Well, Vanheim just claimed his 4th. Yeah. So the 3 he has are this one, the Golden Throne, the Throne of the First Stage, and the Throne of Knowledge. So if we look at them, all 3 are actually that he has are in this column. Ulm bought this throne off of End, the Throne of Fire. So that's the 4th throne in this column. Yeah. And which other ones does this Pan? Column? Pan does border the one by Pelagia's Pond. Right. Well. Oh, he's going to take that one eventually. This turn he's got claim to, so this will put him at 4. This throne was the one Vanheim took to keep Pan from getting it. So that's... Right. This would have been 5. So this is Pan has 4, it looks like. This is a very good option for a 5th. If he wants to fight Vanheim. Fighting Ashdod, this would give him a 6th.
and this would be a 7th from Ashdod. So there's 2 Ashdod thrones for him.
And he could go for the independent by Pelagia if he ran in.
And this
there,
could be an 8th and win.
And claimed it. Yeah, but he, it's a tricky.
And he could also go after this one from all for an 8th. Yeah,
he could. But I think he's going to be lacking. I'm just guessing that his ability to claim them with just right now, the PNS broadcasting system is as a claimer. He'd be hard pressed. Because the PNS broadcasting system is his profit now, right? Yeah. Okay. I think Pan's biggest trouble in any kind of throne rush is a lack of holy threes.
Yeah.
Does have the god and the prophet, so that's 2.
Well, I think, too, looking at the messages he had sent, he was starting to think about taking Ashdod's thrones, and I think that makes sense, because this is going to be a big ticket item for him getting 2 thrones from this.
Well, if he gets to 6, and he has 2 claimers...
He's then in range of 8.
Yeah.
If he starts going on Ashdod, the question is, are people going to help him, or are people going to vulture? And...
Right.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that are ready to vulture Ashdod, too.
Could be. Yeah, both Van and Pelagia would gain from vulturing Ashdod. But they might be waiting to see who moves first.
And the thing is, I don't know if right now, or in the next 5 turns, if Ashdod really can fight Pangaea. Because Pangaea's just got so much more tech than he does. He's, double his tech.
Yeah.
So...
Well, and you could estimate that it's only going to take him 3 to 5 turns to finish off End. Because that's more or less over.
Yeah, I don't think Sai's going to sit still either. I think he's going to pick a fight. And my guess is he's going to pick a fight with Ashdod.
That seems in Sai's character.
Yeah. There's a lot of things nice about fighting Ashdod. It kind of pushes him away from... Like, if you fight Ulm, you're going to have more of this coastal stuff, which, yuck. With Pelagia being a really strong player, who wants more coastal stuff? And then fighting Ashdod, you get 2 thrones out of it. You're fighting inland. There's a decent chance that Vanheim will be okay with it, because he'll come in and vulture half of this stuff. He'll probably get this throne from him, and then all of this territory. Because this is this is Vanheim's capital. Vanheim is actually a neighbor of Ashdod, right? So
yeah,
I think if Pan goes on Ashdod, he and Vanheim would split it, and then Pelagia would probably try to vulture a tiny bit.
I would imagine. It's a tricky situation. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, we're at 43 minutes, so I guess we can call it.
Not bad. Yeah, I don't have any more to say.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See you later.